When I am frustrated or anxious, I've started dancing, and honestly, best decision I think I have made in quite a long time. Okay, so let's backtrack. I'm somebody who has always loved to dance, though I have often held the belief that I am not great at it, but I do it for me, not for other people, so that's what matters. Some days I have dance parties in the kitchen more than others. But these days, the last couple weeks especially, I've started purposely having dance parties. I, will put on one song, usually on repeat, but sometimes I'll pick a playlist that I like and just zone out with headphones, make the music loud, and just feel it. Just dance through the music like no one is watching, because usually there isn't in my kitchen anyway. And it helps to regulate my nervous system. It, as somebody with ADHD, gives me that boost of dopamine, that energy, that feel good, and that feel good feeling. And when I do that, before starting literally any task, going to wash the dishes, dance first. Want to come film some videos? I'll do a song or two of dance until I'm feeling calm, I'm feeling zen, I'm feeling in the wave. See those examples of my good dance moves. Especially if there's something hard I want to do, like an email I've been dreading or a phone call that makes me feel anxious. Taking that time to dance first makes it easier. So I don't edit these videos, which I know sometimes I say, which is typically when I'm stumbling with exactly how to phrase something. But in case you're new here, I thought I'd throw that little nugget in. But let's go back here. A lot of popular advice is to do the really hard thing first. Once you get that hard thing out of the way, you've got all this energy to start working on other tasks, and you can just focus on the lighter things. Don't worry about it. But what I have learned in researching ADHD, in learning myself and how I move through the world and how my energy fluctuates when I have what energy, is that the opposite is kind of true. That if I start with something small and easy, it kind of snowballs in a good way. It gives me momentum to continue. And so for me, when I take the time to dance before literally any task, it creates enough dopamine and just feel good energy and motivation and like, I'm on top of the world, I can do whatever I want. It allows me to then go and move on to that next task, which has honestly been such a game changer. Because I often find myself, if I have this thing that I've been dreading, because let's be real, a lot of us do this, and I am no slacker myself, in that I also slack, but no, let's reword that. I am learning to better understand my energy and moving through things. When I take the time to dance first and give myself that little boost of dopamine, that makes it easier to transition into a new task or into the thing I want to do. Then I can take one small step, which also helps build momentum. It could be replying to a single comment that I've wanted to reply to. It could be writing my to-do list and breaking things down. When I start with a small task and work my way up, it gives me the motivation and the energy and the capacity, honestly, like the spoons, to do the big tasks. And it's really been a game changer. I've been doing, about 2 weeks, I think I've been practicing this and working on this. And in that time, I have seen myself grow on most of my social media platforms. It has gotten easier to do things like the dishes, which honestly tends to be one of the biggest dreads I have most days. I don't know. I've never liked dishes. Maybe it's because cleaning was a punishment as a kid. That's a day for another story. But, when I build up the momentum, it snowballs, and the more of those, it's like a little stepping ladder. The more of those steps I take the bigger steps I am able to take, the harder things I am able to do. And it's really helped. So, this is my challenge to you. Next time you are feeling anxious or dreading doing something, take the step of dancing. Or, if there's something similar that you enjoy that is off of, for the most part, off of technology, that is moving your body in a way, and you don't even have to stand up. You could just, I enjoy doing that. It makes me feel good. Makes me giggle, makes me laugh, makes me happy. I don't care what other people think. My partner, he already thinks I'm crazy in a good way. We do that kind of stuff all the time at home. But, when you try that thing that's going to give you energy, you're not saying, oh, I need to get up and do this thing I've been avoiding. You're saying, hey, I want to get up and try dancing and giving myself this energy. And then take that energy that you've created, because you did create that by doing something you enjoy. Take it and use that momentum to do even one small step in the thing that you've been avoiding, or the task that feels a little harder or a little more difficult. And it kind of smooths the way. I'm somebody who I've got a bit of trauma. So a lot of times in the past, especially, my process has been to procrastinate or to freeze. And in case you didn't know, procrastination is often a trauma response. I've written an article on this that I will tag below because it has helped a lot of people. But, when I can get out of that freeze mode or that fawn mode, it just makes everything easier. Traditional advice is to do the hard thing first, but how my brain works, I will sit there and dread and feel anxious and spiral and say, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this, and feel worse and worse and worse than I'm not doing it. But when I switched, when I say, okay, I'm not making myself do this really big, hard task, I am doing something that I enjoy, and then let's see where this takes us. It alleviates the pressure. It alleviates the stress. It makes room for myself to have fun. And I have found that in doing this a lot more often, in finding ways to have fun, to dance, to increase my dopamine, and that's kind of like my focus. Like my art, I love doing that. That's dopamine for me. That's not really a hard thing. But when I increase that, it's made it actually easier to find joy in the things that I don't necessarily like to do. So I might turn on some good beats and dance out a couple rounds, but then since I'm already dancing in the kitchen, I leave the headphones on, I leave the music playing, and I will dance as I do the dishes. And it makes it more fun. It makes it easy. There's no reason that the thing you are dreading can't be fun, that it has to be difficult. Now, it might still be a difficult task, but in my experience, the things that I avoid, especially if I avoid it for a long time, it gets built up in my mind to this big, scary, very daunting task. And the longer I avoid it, the harder it gets. And when I actually do wind up doing it, I feel so much relief. And it usually takes a lot less energy or capacity or effort than I would have expected. It just doesn't wind up being as big and scary as I thought. And this task that, I think is gonna take the mental capacity of hours of hard work tends to be 10 minutes, and I feel so much relief when it is done. So yeah, give it a try. It might just help.